G'day guys and welcome back to our Kart Class Podcast. Today we're looking at seat time versus setup changes. Now, a couple of big things here. How important is seat time? And obviously how important is setup changes? What I would be looking at from a very basic point of view is if you're driving and you're more than 1 second off the pace, there's going to be more to be found in just driving. Like we can make setup adjustments to fine tune, to find, 1, 2 tenths, maybe 3 or 4 tenths max in setup in one single adjustment. But when it comes to seat time, if you're anything more than 1 second off, we must be doing the fundamentals wrong. So whether that's we're just rolling around the corners too much, we're taking the wrong lines, we're accelerating too late, you'll find more time in just doing laps and keeping the kart stable and the same. Unless you've got something drastically wrong, like a rear hub is accidentally in, 20 or 30 million on one side, or you've got the wrong sprocket on by, 4 or 6 sprockets, axle changes might make 1 or 2 tenths. Camber and caster might again make 1 to 2 tenths max. They're not things that, unless you're way outside of the window, you can actually get yourself down this path where if you're 2 seconds off, you might make an adjustment, but your driver just simply improves their driving and they actually make a time gain because they're just doing the basics a little bit better. And now what happens is you might do that 10 mil extra in the front track width, and now they've gone 2 tenths faster, but that's just because they just drove a little bit better because they were already so far off the pace that they're naturally going to improve with time. And now what you do is you start creating this new setup because the driver's improving, and you're simply just going down a path that's not even on the same track as everyone else. You're going to have different axles because you're constantly looking for something that isn't quite there yet. As I said, from the setup changes, when we're looking to make an adjustment, whether that's, we're talking small increments as well. Like we're racing from club, state, national level. We're talking the rear track is like 5 mil overall difference. So we're going like 2.5 mil increments. We're going a 5 mil space from the front end. We're going from 3 mil negative to 4 mil negative per side. We're adding 1 or 2 mil of caster. We're not doing big adjustments. We're fine tuning where the drivers are already close to the pace. They're within that 3 or 4 tenth range. So we're just making small adjustments to try and find half a tenth, 1 tenth. But with drivers that are, like I said, 1 second or more off, unless they've got, an extreme axle, whether it's an extreme soft or extreme hard, we're just trying to get them back to a more of a neutral setup and try and get them comfortable there. So put your kart in that neutral setup. Start with a medium axle or something equivalent. The track width for cadets is like, on most karts, around that 25 to 30 mil of front track width. The rear track for cadets is basically locked at 1100 on the rear track. So, moving between 1090 and 1100, camber for kids, in most tyre compounds, is going to be between 2 mil of negative and 1 mil positive. So again, moving in 1 mil increments. Caster, if it's hot and it's grippy, run just neutral caster, just nothing. If it's cold and slippery, add to full caster. If it's obviously conditions that are in between, go half caster. So knowing what to adjust to the conditions. But as I said, I see so many people that are off the pace, and they're the ones that are throwing big hostile changes. They're new seats. They're gone from a Jekko seat to a Tillet seat next time. And it's like the kid's 2.5 seconds off the pace. It won't really matter. So that's what I'd be trying to work on first. Get to within the second range. Once you're within 1 second, then fine tune the kart to the last half a second. Once you're in that last half a second, obviously it comes down to the driver really maximizing kart and the balance of it. That's the key to this. That's the key to the karting is I see too many people going down these setup windows because, they do change these things. And the driver just picks it up because they're going fast. They're going flat out in a corner they've never been flat out on. Bang, 2-3 tenths. And then the time representative looks like, oh, that was a setup adjustment. But really, it's just the driver's confidence because they've done an extra 60 laps on the day and they've got more confidence to pick up the speed. So I want parents to sort of think, keep things easy for yourself. More than 1 second, just drive. Just get the basics right. Get the sprocket right. Get the front and rear track width, close. Keep a neutral axis in it. And just simply do laps and work with the driver on the same kart, the same stability, and just work on the driving. Once you're within that 1 second range, make small increments. 5 mil on the front end adjustments, 2.5 to 5 mil increments on the back. 5 mil is a big change, so just going 2.5 mil increments actually. Only up one axle grade at a time. So whether you're going to a hard, go from a medium to a hard, don't go extra hard. Soft again, just go one axle grade up or down. Caster, again, in half increments, don't go from nothing to full. Keep things in a more stepped process so that each change you can get a sense on whether it is actually helping the driver or it's just naturally the driver is just getting more confident and more stable on the track. So, yeah, karting is technical, but also I would say that the people that are a long way off in their driving, they're the most technical people that I feel out there because they're looking for something that's not actually there. It's in the driving. And so they're very skeptical and worried to actually look at that as themselves is where the deficiency is. And so they think just by buying new rims and buying new hubs and buying the latest gimmicks is going to pick them up 1 second. It just won't. It simply will make your life a lot more expensive, a lot more technical that you don't need, and more frustrating, to be honest. I've got a young cadet driver that basically bought a kart 12 months ago. We've raced it at all the AKC rounds. We've gone to state rounds and club rounds, and we're still yet to change an axle in the kart. It's got the standard 4-dot axle in the cadet kart that it was purchased with 12 months ago. It's in the same seat position. It's fixed on the 1100 rear track, and it comes down to the driver maximizing that kart setup. And we've gone from being a 40th place driver 12 months ago because we were starting out to now being on the front row and setting some fast laps in the same field. Again, obviously some drivers have gone up and some new drivers have come to the class, but the same setup that we used 12 months ago from club, state and national races, it's the driver that's picked up the time, not so much we haven't done anything to the go-kart. And so people are amazed that it's a secondhand go-kart, it's beaten up, but the driver is maximizing the package. So make things easy, and I hope you get some more enjoyment out of karting if you're getting a little bit lost and you get down these setup windows that really aren't there. Make things easy for yourself and keep enjoying karting where you can. Hope you've enjoyed this episode on our Kart Class podcast. If you know someone that's pretty technical and getting a little bit lost with their karting, shoot them to this podcast and have a listen. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, guys, thanks very much for tuning in.